Just a normal conversation. Don't think of it as a video. Forget that this camera is here. Okay. Okay. So we're going to.
Right?
It started like when you asked whether we can say.
Yeah, no problem.
Fine. So what did you want to do?
Yeah, I want
to install Ubuntu. Okay.
Yeah, Ubuntu Linux.
Before installing, we need to know some stuff about it, or else you will eventually break your system.
Okay.
So first of all, for installing, we need to make space. That you know, right? This space is there, but this space we cannot use directly because already Windows files are there.
Yes.
And Windows partition, like this thing is called a partition. Okay. If you have a disk, it like you don't use the disk as such. Okay. It will have you have the chip, right? The chip, it has blocks of memory that you have to tell the operating system how to access it. So for defining the partitions, like the blocks, the set of blocks which are collectively used for one of these drives, it's just used for organization. Okay. To tell about these partitions, there is the partition table. Okay. And to tell about the files inside the partition, there is this thing called the file system. Okay. You see this? You see, autofocus lock is there. Exposure lock is there. No, it's fine. This is the file system. It will only have information about the files and the files properties, all that stuff. Okay. So this file system is operating system specific. The partition table is it is the BIOS specific or UEFI specific. So when you try to install Linux, what will happen? Linux, it usually doesn't support booting from NTFS partition because NTFS is Microsoft's, right?
Yes.
Only not very recently, but recently they made contributions to the Linux kernel. They didn't make. It's another company called Paragon Software. We won't get into much detail into that, so I'm not going to overload you with information. Basically, it will not be supported if you want to install in the same partition.
Ubuntu.
So we have Ubuntu. If you cannot install in the same partition, so we want to create a new partition. Okay, now I suggest you to create partition from Windows itself, because when you are booting into Linux, you are entering unknown territory if you are doing it for first time. So if you do any unknown operation on the partition and your partition table itself get wiped, then all your files will be gone. That's why they say back up your files like that. So what we are going to do, sometimes the disk, there is a tool called disk management in Windows. This is what you usually use to make partitions on Windows. Okay, so let's to make another partition, we have this free space. So this is your partition. You right click on it and you press shrink volume. Shrink volume means it will reduce the size of this partition and it will give you some free unallocated space. Now the problem I was talking about, look at this. It is showing only 5 GB is able to be shrink. What the problem is, why this happening is because the files in your disk, okay, physically, electronically, they are scattered around the whole NAND flash chip. Okay, so what we should do, we have to collect them all into one space and then we have to partition. For here itself, it will say what is it there? Defragmentation is a term used for hard drives. Okay, actually, what it will do, basically, it's also same thing only. It will be distributed across the disk that you have to collect together and put it in a arranged sequential order. In SSDs, it's called trimming. Okay, so this trimming operation in Windows, where you go, you have to go to this PC, right click on the partition, you have to trim, go to tools, optimize, then you have to click on optimize. Okay, if it shows optimized, we can close this and open the disk management tool again. Okay, so like it's still not changed. So what I like to do is, there is this tool called Minitool Partition Wizard. Okay, it is paid, it has some ads and all, but it will be reliable. Okay, so I am going to install it now. You can uninstall it later if you want.
Should I turn off your tail scale?
Tail scale will turn off. Okay, fine. Download free edition.
Download.
Downloaded. Okay, install. Click yes. Now while installing, you have to be careful. There will be some things you have to disable. Continue free edition. What else? You have to uncheck the shadow maker tool. You see, uncheck this also. You don't need to give them data. Next, you install. Okay, fine. This will close. Do not show this message again. Okay, so this looks pretty similar to that interface we opened, but this has not optimizer, like the disk management tool we opened. No, it looks a bit similar to it, but it has way more options, and like in disk manager, Windows disk manager, you cannot like rearrange the partitions, but this tool allows you to do it. You know why Windows doesn't allow you to do it?
Right.
Because moving partitions is like it is intuitively you can say that you can just move the things, but in reality, physically, I told you, no, the data is stored in each of the blocks of the chip. Okay, if you want to move the partition physically, it will, like I told you, the partition table just splits the blocks in the chip for each partition. Okay, now if I want to move the partition, I have to move the files inside as well. It's a very heavy operation where you have to, like, what do you say, from one location in the chip you have to move the data from the other location in the chip. So if you are like constantly moving around partitions, it will cause more read and write operations, and it will not be good for your SSD and hard drive.
It will take time also.
It will take time also. Now we'll see how much time it takes. But currently we don't have to move anything here. We'll just we can just shrink it, and in this part itself we can install Linux. Okay, so like Windows, if you see, like Windows itself takes around, like when you go to install Windows, it will ask you for 52 GB of free space.
Yes.
But like after installing, it will take like 35 or 40 GB. But Ubuntu usually it takes around only 12 to 13 GB, so you don't need that much space to install it. But for storing your files, you need to give at least some headroom, and for installing other applications dependencies, it will take around 40 GB. Okay, I suggest you to give around 60. If you have 100 GB of free space, give 60 to Ubuntu system partition.
I have 200.
You have 200. Okay, fine. You don't need to give all 200 to. No.
Yeah.
Okay, like if you are going to use Linux full time, you give more storage to the root, because that's where all your applications will be installed. Files you'll store in your home directory. I'll come to this directory, root, home, and all. I'll come later. For now, if you are having 100 GB of free space, you can give around 60 to 70 GB to your root partition, and 30 GB you can give to your home partition. Actually, this home and root doesn't need to be separate partitions. but it's good practice to have them separate, because like when you are reinstalling your OS, you want to wipe the OS partition, then you should not lose your files. So you can, like, your home folder is basically like the user folder in your C colon. Have you seen this users folder?
Yes.
This users folder is the it's like home folder in Linux. Okay, you'll have all your user files. Actually, in Windows also you can change the location of this. You can change the location of your user folders. This desktop, if you go to properties, have you seen this location tab? Here you can go and change the location of these folders. I like when I run out of storage, I do this only. I put it in a separate partition and use. Like this, you can do it in Linux also. But in Linux, it's easier to do like while installing itself. This one you cannot do while installing. Now for demonstration, I will just create two partitions. I will not create the partitions here. I will just shrink it and leave the unallocated space here. So you will have to work with it in Linux. You should only touch the unallocated space and not the other partitions. Okay. We'll do the, where is the shrink, move or resize we'll give. Here we can shrink. Are you going to be using Linux full time?
Actually, I don't think it's like permanent use. But yeah, you can just keep it.
Okay then. If you are not going to use it permanently, I'm not going to like. Okay, for demonstration purpose, I will create a home partition. We'll just leave it to 100 GB for now. Okay, what happened here? Okay, fine. Leave. Undo. Like this thing, if you enter text here, no, it will behave very weirdly. So just use this slider. If you are a perfectionist, I'm sorry. Just leave it in 100.7.
It's okay.
We'll leave it here. And you see here, after the Windows partition, it has unallocated the space.
This is separate and allocated. We are going to install.
Yes, this is where we are going to create all our necessary partitions and install Linux. Okay. If we click this now, apply, what will happen? It should unmount this partition and then do the necessary operation. But it is the C colon, right? It's a C drive, right? That's where the OS is stored. So what will happen? It will not be able to unmount this. What it will do, it will restart into a minimal environment. It will operate on the partition, then it will put you into Windows. That's what it will ask now. I will show you. See, because C is being used now, because it's the operating system. So now we'll restart the laptop and let it do its work.
We'll mount on the unallocated, right?
Now it will not mount anything right now. Okay, it will like the C partition will be unmounted because the OS is not fully loaded now. So it will be unmounted and the shrink operation will take place. It will just move all the files from outside the shrinkable region to inside the shrinking region, and it will do the operation. Now we'll see. Stopping for safety. Sometimes no, if it goes too much, nothing, it will crash the camera app and it will not save the file.
Yeah, I also actually noticed that the camera will get crashed if you record for too long. For my phone, it's like around 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
They said they gave some update. They told the camera stability improved. I don't know how good it is. Now,
this is a camera phone. It's nothing, right?
Nothing.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing, but it's still nothing.
Yeah.
See, it will take why is it is taking longer is because the.
No, what is this screen?
Yeah, this is
it from a tool only or
tool only? Partition. I told you, it will boot into a minimal environment and it will do the partition reset. It is taking long because there are some like files which are in the free space which we want to shrink. So it is moving them all to the place like together with the chunk of files, and it is making free space basically.
How much is going to take?
It will take some Around 5 minutes it will take. Don't worry. Okay. In the meantime,
I need water.
I am the one who is speaking.
Yeah, drink.
I'll drink after this. While this is being done, we'll talk about the boot process. So, when you first turn on the computer, what will happen? There will be a chip in your laptop called the BIOS, or now it is the BIOS, but the interface you have with it. Yes, the interface you have with it, the firmware is called UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware Interface.
Yeah, I don't
Okay. When you first turn on the computer, that is the thing that will be executed first. Okay.
First time.
Yes. What it will do? It will first perform all the this thing called power on self test. That thing basically checks all your hardware. It will check whether your CPU, RAM, all those are working. If they all work, then it will go on to the next step. Or else it will leave out error code. It will maybe in the form of beeps. In old computer, if you have heard, it will do some beep when you start up. Single means it is okay. The power on self test.
I think I heard this in my computer.
Yes, old computers.
Yeah, bro, my computer is actually 18 years old.
Yeah. Definitely it will have buzzer. Through the buzzer,
That
it will
beeps out.
Hmm.
I don't know. I tried to clean my computer after removing all CPU and RAM. Okay. So after that, I tried to reboot. Okay. So it was going beep.
Yes, that.
I don't know what was the problem. Then I see the CPU fan wire was not connected.
Actually, some now modern motherboards they'll give just warning if the CPU fan is not running. That beep you heard was the error code. Okay. If there is any problem, you can refer to the manual and check which beep sequence is related to which of the issues in your computer. Okay. So after the power on self test has been done, actually this power on self test is reduced to a short amount if you are having fast boot on in your
Actually, manually turned it off. I don't know. People say it's not good for computer. Is it true?
That I'm not talking about the Windows fast boot. That is correct. Okay. Windows fast boot is shit. You have to disable it when you are using Linux with dual boot, or else you'll have issues. I'm talking about the BIOS, like a pre-built fast boot. If you see in gigabyte BIOS, it will be there.
Gigabyte means what? Motherboard company.
Yes. They make more than motherboards, but fine. Yes. If you turn that on, it will skip over the power on self test and go directly to the next step. Now we are going to talk about the next step. It is where the BIOS searches. I should not say BIOS from now on. I will just use UEFI because that's what we are using in all our systems currently. Okay. So this UEFI, there will be something. It will have some storage. Okay. It's called an NVRAM. Yes, NVRAM. From there it loads the boot order. You know the boot order, no? What devices it has, what devices are bootable. You go into the boot order and set the boot order. It will be saved to the NVRAM, and while you are booting, it will load from there. Okay. And now it has seen the boot order. It will go to the first priority device. It will search for something called the EFI system partition. It is also a partition, but it's a special partition. It has a flag called the ESP. We will see those two flags while we are creating the partition in Linux. Okay. Now, yes. After it has searched for the EFI system partition, it will go into the partition and it will search for this boot executable. Okay. Executable means what you have applications on Windows now. There you would have seen .exe. Exe means executable. Executable means it's a file that can be executed by the whatever it's loading it. Okay. So this executable will have an extension called .efi. Okay. That file it will search for, and once it has found the file, it will load the file and execute it. That executable is for your bootloader. This bootloader is what will boot you into your operating system. in Windows it's called Windows Boot Manager. You will not see it because like you have only Windows installed, no, so it will directly boot into Windows. When you might see it is when your computer shuts down unexpectedly for 3 times or more. It is shown preparing automatic repair or like preparing automatic repair. Have you seen?
I never seen my laptop, but in my old computer.
I have seen, no.
So that like my computer go and repair every time it shut down unexpectedly. It happens many times.
So now like you might see it when you actually you won't directly see it that time also. Like when if you in Windows 7 times you would have seen some Windows Boot Manager in Windows 7. That also you would have not seen. Fine, leave. Okay, the Windows also has a bootloader, but you will not see it because it will go past it very quickly. Now, for Linux, we have many choices of bootloaders. In Linux, basically, you will have choice for everything. Okay. Wherever you have a choice, I'll list out the choices. Okay. For bootloader, we have GRUB. GRUB is the mostly like very widely used and very maintained as well. So we are going to use GRUB only. There is also things like refind, limine, systemd boot and stuff. When you first see the bootloader, I am talking about GRUB specifically now. GRUB will list you the options. Choose an operating system like that in last. Okay. It doesn't have to be operating system. All of those options will not be an operating system. They are just like a list of commands to choose from. Okay, if you choose one a list item, it will execute the command that is related to the list item. Okay, the command basically it will have the for Linux the command will be. I am not saying the exact command. It will contain the image for the Initramfs. Okay, Initramfs means the initial RAM file system. What it will do, it will create a sort of disk in your RAM itself. Okay, it is there to give you temporary storage for the kernel to load. After it has been loaded, next will be your kernel executable. Okay, a executable I already told you. This kernel is what acts as a bridge between your operating system and your hardware. It is what basically controls everything in your system. Okay. Yes. So the kernel, it will be packaged as a compressed executable. It's called VM LINU Z. Okay, Z means it's compressed with the gzip format. Okay, what it will do? It will decompress it while it is booting, and it will execute the kernel executable. Okay, after it has loaded the kernel.
Yeah, it's done.
See, it has
shrink. It was like 199 GB.
Right? It has shrink. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay, now
where is the other partition? Where is the other?
Which partition?
The left.
Unallocated space, it will not show up in your Windows Explorer. Okay. It is unallocated, so it won't be visible. If you allocate the space only, now you will be able to see. Okay. We'll continue the discussion before going on to actually installing Linux. Okay, because I have to tell you this. Where was I? I was in yes, the command. Kernel executable. The Initramfs is created for the kernel to be the kernel itself. It will not have the required drivers to load the files, operating systems files. You have C partition here, right? Yes. Like that, there will be something called the root partition for the Linux, or it's called the root file system. Okay, that's where all the files will be stored for the operating system.
For the Linux.
If you go to C/Windows, you will see all these files now. Like this for Linux also, there will be some files in some folders. I'll tell you what, I'll show you the folders later. It has to mount the root partition. Okay, so for mounting it, it will need the file system drivers. file system also have drivers. You know what drivers are, right? Drivers are basically, that's what it's a software that will drive the hardware. Literal meaning that only, like whatever operation it has to perform with the hardware, this driver will only let the kernel know. Okay. Now that you have mounted the root partition, the next thing will kick in, the initialization system. What it will do is, like when you basically boot Windows, no, it will load for some time. Why it is loading? What is it loading? It is loading all the drivers. It is all starting all the services, startup services. Have you seen?
Okay.
Not the startup applications you see here. I'll show you the startup services. Okay. Like this. Have you seen this tab?
Yeah.
Have you ever read this into this tab?
Yeah, I read.
These are called services. They are also like applications only, but they will not be visible to your eyes. They'll be running in the background. They'll be doing their own thing. You just won't see them. Okay. Startup apps. These will be launched only after you log in. We are not in the login stage yet. We are only in the boot stage. So what will happen after the kernel has been loaded and the root partition has been mounted? These services will be launched. Okay. That will be launched by the initialization system. Now most of the I'm telling most because there are, again, here also you can customize. There are many different initialization systems, but the most common one is systemd.
Systemd.
Yes, the systemd, it will load things called unit files. They are basically the definition for all the services. It will be just a text. The text file will say what executable to load, when to load it, all that it will say. It will be that file is called a unit. Okay, all those units it will load. Okay, after it has loaded, there are basically different points at the startup process, which can be defined in the which can be used in the unit files to tell the processes which are at which point in boot we are. One such point is the user target, which means all the processes have been loaded and all the required processes have been loaded, and we can move on to the login procedure. Okay. What will happen? Yes, the systemd will do all these. Okay. After systemd has done all these, it will launch the thing called display manager. Okay. This display manager is basically like your Windows, not your lock screen, your login screen. This screen, you see here, this screen will be your display manager in the in Linux. Okay. Apart from letting you logging into your account, it will also have options to choose your desktop environment. We come to desktop environment after we have finished with display manager. Okay. It will also allow you to choose your desktop environment and the display server.
So again, more options.
More options.
Yes, okay.
Display server also has options. Desktop environment also has options. So once you have chosen the desktop environment and you have logged in, what you will basically see is your GUI. You see this now? Your taskbar, start menu, all these all come under the desktop environment. Okay. This desktop environment is what you will basically be using for your whole time on Linux. So when you are first, if you are looking at a Linux system, you will be like, oh, this looks very nice. That is your desktop environment only, not the other parts of the OS. So why I am telling you about the options is because you should not be captivated by the this whatever it's showing on face value. Okay, there are a lot of other things you have to consider when you are choosing what to install, what Linux distribution to install. Okay, many distributions may have the same desktop environment, but they may be configured differently. If you look at one thing and you say it looks nice, but it might be a pain to use because Have you heard of Arch Linux?
Yes. Only her.
People say that it's very hard to like install or use. Like it's not that hard. But why did I take up this example? See, but Arch Linux is fundamentally different from your Ubuntu. Ubuntu is distribution based on Debian. If you don't want Ubuntu's own desktop environment, you can even select one of their flavors. We can go to the Ubuntu website right now. This like video is just recording audio right now. Ubuntu.com.
Audio?
Okay. No, it's recording video, but it's still screen now, so I'm saying. Okay. So, here is download Ubuntu. You see here Ubuntu flavors. It's basically just different desktop environments, but same Ubuntu. If you scroll through this now, you'll see like different UI. This is what I prefer. This is called K desktop environment. This basically looks very similar to Windows, but you can customize it to look any way you want. You can customize all the other
Really?
Yes.
Like what kind of customizations?
We are asking the great questions.
Like how much customization?
There is this subreddit called unixporn. You can go here. It's a questionable name, I know, but they'll like if you go there, if you check all the like configurations people have done, they look very nice.
Yeah.
Just scroll through them or like see. Here is a KD customization.
Is that much customization?
Yes.
Okay.
See, look at this and compare it with the what we saw.
I'll compare with my window only.
You can, if you want to search for specific desktop environments, you can search like you put KD here. See these people.
Yeah.
Does it look like?
No, it's
does it
actually
look
very
anything
nice.
like this?
No.
You can just customize it how much
Yes,
ever you
yes.
want. That's the beauty of Linux and KDE in specific here. See this thing, Cinnamon. It's the desktop environment that Linux Mint offers. Have you heard of Linux Mint? People usually recommend it when you are switching from Windows for the first time because it's apparently very similar to Windows. Linux Mint is also based on Ubuntu, but it will have this desktop environment. Ubuntu will come with all the Ubuntu software, but the Cinnamon desktop environment. These are all the flavors of Ubuntu. They just changed the desktop environment. Is
What
changed.
if I have to install other applications, especially web browsers?
Now, like we have come to desktop environment. No, next after it has loaded the desktop environment, not after, alongside the desktop environment, it will load two other things called the display server and the audio server.
Yes.
This audio server and display server, what they do, like what are they serving to? They are called servers. They serve to the applications that you load. Okay, the applications, what they do, they'll request these servers. They'll request these servers to, if they want to play any audio or if they want to draw anything on the screen. Draw means basically display only, like show anything on the screen. They will make requests to these display servers, and these display servers will communicate with the graphics driver, and it will show the picture on the screen.
Okay.
Or the audio in the speaker. Okay.
Also, the display server is aiding OS itself also, no? So everything is coming in the screen is by display server only.
Yes. Okay. Even on like on Windows, you don't see them as separate things, but they are separate things. If you go into this thing, no, there will be something called GDI plus. I don't know what it's called fully here. Where is it? Let's try to search for it. Okay. G. This desktop window manager is basically like your desktop environment for Windows. Before you used to be able to kill this process If you kill it now, it will give a blue screen. In Windows 7, you could do it. Now they have disabled ending this process. We have talked about the display server and the audio server. Okay. In these also there are choices. For display server, you have X11 and Wayland. These are the two major players in the game right now. Wayland is not a display server by itself, it's just a protocol for the server. Okay, the servers themselves are implemented by the desktop environments only. For KDE, there is K-Wing Wayland that follows the protocol that has been established by Wayland. Okay, so Wayland is just a protocol. Then for audio server, we have PulseAudio and Pipewire. PulseAudio is a bit old. Now the newer thing, Pipewire, it handles both audio and video streams. So it's not a display server, Pipewire. It handles video streams. That's all. Like if you are capturing something on the display, like if you are using OBS, no. If you want to record the screen, it will handle the video output of the recording.
Here also we have options.
Everywhere you have options. Okay, now that you have gone through all this, the last thing we have to discuss is the package manager. After you have gone into the UI, what will you do? You will launch applications. And if there are no applications, where will you install them from?
Yeah, from where?
On Windows, on Windows, what will you do? You'll go search for the application, download it, and it will install. Some applications will ask, I want Visual C++ runtime.
Yeah.
You'll go there and you will install it. You will install it, and then it will say, I want .NET runtime. It will go and you have to go and download and install.
Games, they ask DirectX.
Yes, DirectX is also a dependency.
Vulkan G.
Vulkan
G or what?
Vulkan, yeah. Vulkan. These DirectX and Vulkan are graphics APIs. So okay, you install packages like this, but in Windows also you have a package manager, like dedicated package manager. It's called WinGet. You can use this to install applications instead of going to the website and downloading. This is very useful command. Yes.
Like how?
How means if you where is the here is the help command? No, we can read all the available commands.
Okay,
where is it? Search is there? No.
It's most likely similar to pip package.
Yes. Pip is the package manager for Python. This is for the whole Windows. So tell any application name. If it is available on WinGet, it will be, you can download it and install it right then and there. Any application.
Any application, right?
What comes to your mind first?
Any application is any application.
Any.
I'll say Brave.
Brave browser, right? If we put Brave.
Okay.
See? Brave. Now if we go and
you didn't install,
this,
you just check, right?
Yes, this is just search. If we go ahead and if we put WinGet install and this package ID, it will install the package. You want me to show install?
Yeah, just install. I will delete it later. Because I'm not a Brave user, I'm just a very normal Chrome user.
See, it will automatically download the setup from wherever it is supposed to download.
How, what is the source? Internet only, right?
Yes, the source is the WinGet repository. They'll have all the list of packages, and the packages themselves, they'll have where to download them from. And from there, WinGet downloads the installer and it will execute the installer. It has installed. Now if we check now, Brave.
Check. Yes, there.
See? Very simple, very easy. Just one command and it will be installed.
Super.
Like this, we have package managers on Linux to install all the packages required.
So all these things will be there, just as similar as the Windows.
Yes. Basically, in in Linux, everything is handled by package manager only. All the packages, like all the applications, their dependencies, .NET, I don't know. Like that, there will be some dependencies, some libraries that the other applications may require. That also this package manager only will take care. So this package manager is a very important thing in Linux. On like this also, this is not an option that you can choose, but it will come with whatever distribution you choose. Like if you choose any Debian derivative like Ubuntu, Linux Mint, all those if you select, your package manager will be apt. Arch Linux has Pacman as its package manager.
Pacman.
Yes, Pacman. Package manager, Pacman.
Okay.
Pacman. That Pacman.
I'm going into that game.
Yes, it is named after the game, but it's also named after package manager, short form.
Okay.
And this thing, Fedora, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, all these things will use DNF. That's their own package manager.
Another question. So these packages also contain some small games. The cards game used to be there in a Windows.
There are like there are games that you can install using the package manager. KDE comes with a lot of games. Like there are like Mahjong, Solitaire, and even like outside of KDE, Minesweeper is also there. Outside of KDE, there is this thing called Super Tux Kart. It is basically like Mario Kart but open source, fully open source. All the assets are also like openly licensed. Like it's a very fun game. If you want, you can go try. Okay. If you go to some website now, if you click, they will have download for Windows, Mac, Linux. If you go to Linux, the page will be a bit different, because not all Linux distributions use the same packaging method. Okay, so Debian uses this thing called .deb archives. Okay, they are specific to Debian. You can use this command called dpkg, the Debian package, to work with those DEB files. You can install them. But basically you are not supposed to install it using dpkg directly. You have to use the package manager, so that you get all the dependencies also associated with the application. It will be installed automatically. That's the beauty of the package manager. Now if you install directly, no, it's like installing a exe. If you use dpkg, it's like installing an exe. It will what do you say? I told you, no, it'll ask for Visual C++. It asks for .NET, DirectX. Like that, this will also cause some errors when you install directly. So if you install it with the package manager, it will automatically collect the dependencies for you, and it will install that package you wanted to install and all the dependencies as well. Now enough about the packages. Enough about the packages. You will be using Ubuntu only, so I am not going to tell about any other packages. And there are, other than the distribution specific packages, there are distribution agnostic packages. They are not dependent on the distribution at all. You can get them once and you can run them on any distribution. There are direct executables, Linux executables, which you can assign the executable permission to and just run. It will just run without any problems. Other thing is app image. .app image, that's the extension. If you download it, if you set the executable permission and if you execute it, it will also run wherever the app image is supported. It will be supported on most .app image, yes. It will be supported on most distributions, but you would if it's not working, you have to check if it is supported for a distribution or not. And other things, Snap. These different package management was brought because there wasn't any in Android you have permissions for specific apps, right? Like that they wanted to give specific permissions to these apps as well. So there was this thing called Flatpak that was created. What it will do, it will basically isolate the application from your file system, and it will give only the required permissions for the app to run. Whatever is required, that only will be given access to. If you want to give more access, there is this thing called a flat seal, which you can use to manage the permissions. Like how if your Android app wants access to the microphone, means it will ask no, allow once, always allow. Like that, there won't be any prompts on Linux on Flatpak apps. You have to manually go and you go to settings and set the permission. No. Settings, apps, you go to the app, then permission, you will turn on the required permission. No, like that only flat seal will also work. Okay, these extras also I have told you. Now it's actually time to dive into the Linux installation.
Actual process, right?
Yes.
Okay.
After all this yapping, we will finally be installing Linux.
Unallocated space, right?
Yes, we are going to install it in the unallocated space.
So how you are going to do, like, first of all?
How we are going to do, that is what I was about to explain. Okay, so now to install Linux, we need something called the installer. Okay, this installer, if you download from the Ubuntu website or wherever, it will come as these .iso files. These are basically, this ISO is the standardization organization only. ISO, International Organization for Standardization. Never heard of IEEE. You studied, no?
I am poor at IEEE. no, I heard. I remember. Yeah.
It's a standardization organization. Okay.
So this thing only.
Yes, that is what this ISO means. But it is basically a disk image. Okay. What is a disk image is basically, it is just how the data is stored in the partition. Same thing will be like you will see in the disk image. These you can directly open with like, what do you say, WinRAR. If you open with it, you can see all the files inside. There are other formats of disk images as well. This is directly readable, but that is not. The .img files are not. Okay, now like I'm going to show you the different distributions. Like where is Ubuntu? Okay, Ubuntu also looks like this only. This is one desktop environment, and this is called the, I think this is Unity. No, this is Gnome.
These are the flavors, right?
These are the flavors. I told you, no, the flavors differ only by desktop environment and the packages that are installed with it. Ubuntu comes with some educational packages, it seems. Okay, this is Gnome. This is a desktop environment. This is its.
Okay,
this is the UI. Okay. Now and this is KDE. This is the desktop environment of KDE. If you want to use them, you can go to this website called Distro. It is basically somewhere some server is running. You connect to it using this protocol called
is it like virtual
VNC.
Machine or different?
Virtual machine only. Yes, it will run in that server, and you will connect to it using the protocol called VNC. It is there for remote control. Okay. Now I'll show you KDE first, or we'll go with Gnome first. Okay, Ubuntu by default will come with Gnome only at 24.04. I'm showing you this because I want you to choose one of the flavors. You already chose you wanted Ubuntu. Okay, no, I meant to block it. Fine.
And to ask that thing also, that metal installation without virtual machine,
Yes.
what is that?
Bare metal installation basically means you are installing it directly on the laptop. Okay. If you're talking about virtual machines, virtual machine is basically that, a virtual machine. To run that virtual machine, you need to have something called the hypervisor. Hypervisor. What this is, it is basically a processing
I
system.
heard about VT. We need VT.
That's virtualization technology. I'm coming to it. Wait.
Okay.
This hypervisor is what it will emulate your. It will emulate a whole computer inside your operating system. Okay. What will happen? Like if it wants to access the hardware resources directly, it needs some more permission from the BIOS itself, the basic input-output system itself. So there is this BIOS setting called virtualization technology, VTD in Intel, and it may be VTX, VTD. They have different names,
AMD.
but basically they do the same thing. They just allow these hypervisors to access the system resources directly. Okay, directly in the sense it will not be very direct. It will still be like a bit slower than the actual.
Can we think it is as an emulator?
It is an emulator,
Okay,
but it doesn't emulate your CPU and like stuff. Emulator, what it will do, it will like, what do you say? It will translate all the instructions. If you are emulating Game Boy, let's say, the Game Boy, it will have some chip. No, the instructions given to that chip will be translated to the instructions which are given to this CPU. If that happens, it's called an emulator. Okay. If you are running Android emulator on a laptop,
or any other.
like it has to run ARM-based apps. Like, ARM is the architecture that your phones use. It has to translate those instructions, ARM instructions, to x86 instructions. So it's basically emulating.
Where is this terminal? This is terminal, right?
No, that's the settings. For terminal, there is this thing called console in KDE. That is the terminal emulator. Not here.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. Console. This thing is your terminal. You need to familiarize yourself with the terminal, no matter which distribution you use.
I literally don't know any command in terminal for the Linux.
You can learn
except
as you
Pseudo.
go. You can learn as you go. You know what Pseudo does?
Pseudo is I think it's very common in every command, right?
You have to know what it does. Okay. When you open some
Is
application,
it redirecting or what?
I'll tell you. If you open some applications, in Windows, sometimes it opens up, do you want to allow this application to have admin access? Basically, Pseudo does that for you, like manually it will run. Okay. What do you say? Pseudo, the full form of Pseudo is super user do. What did it do? Super user do. Super user means it's the root user. Okay, root user, what it does, it has the highest privilege in your computer. Okay. What Pseudo basically does is, whatever command you supply after Pseudo, it will run that command with elevated privileges. Like it will give the command root privileges, the highest privilege, and it will run the command. Basically, if you have any permission issues or if you want to install apps to the system, you will use Pseudo and then the command to install the app or do whatever you want to do. Then it will temporarily elevate the permission for that app alone and it will run. There are many other commands which you will learn as you go. Okay, you don't need to memorize them right now. By seeing and typing multiple times, you will register it in your brain. Like package management commands will be the first thing that will be etched in your mind. You see all these files. This is your root directory. But I don't know, it's the root file system. It will have all the files that are required for Linux to run. Okay. There are these different folders which are specified in the file system hierarchy standard. There is this thing. It is defined by Unix. Okay, Unix is like it's older than Linux. Okay, it was developed by
Linux are not same.
Yes, Unix and Linux are not same. Unix is a operating system which was developed by AT&T Bell Labs in 1960s or 70s. Okay, inspired by this, they didn't have the source code to Unix back then. Okay, it was not open. So some people decided that this should be open, and so they took inspiration from Unix and the inner workings of Unix, and they created this thing called GNU.
So it was never the total copy of Unix.
Yes, it was not a copy. It was a inspiration. Okay. GNU. The full form itself is a recursive acronym. Okay. GNU is not Unix. That is the full form. GNU is not Unix. It's not Unix. Yeah, that's
recursive full form.
Yes. This GNU, it was missing a kernel. Okay, Unix had a kernel and all the tools. The tools are what you use in the terminal. The commands you use now, cd, ls, man, all these are utilities, tools. Okay. GNU had these tools, utilities and stuff, but it was missing the kernel. The thing that is actually required to run the operating system. What happened? Linux filled that gap. That kernel gap, Linux filled it. Linux is basically a kernel built by Linux forwards. Okay, it's just the kernel. And we are saying if you are installing Linux, okay, you actually mean that you are installing some operating system that is using the Linux kernel. Okay. So when you are referring to Linux, you are actually referring to something called GNU/Linux. Okay. You have seen this meme somewhere. I'd like to interject. What you are referring to Linux is actually GNU/Linux, or recently I've gotten to call it GNU plus Linux. No. There is a meme like that. Okay, it is very common among the
it's common for Linux users.
Linux users, yes. Okay. I have to reset it. Oh, what? Okay. Now we have now we have used both KDE and GNOME. Which one do you prefer? KDE because it's closer to Windows and it's a bit easier to customize. There is a store. If you check the more things in the live session, you would have seen there is a store from where you can directly download customization and apply.
What about dynamic wallpaper?
Dynamic wallpaper also there.
Yeah, that is very nice.
Everything is there. You just have to search for it and install. That's all. Okay. Now that I have chosen the distribution. Yes, the installer. We have to see how the installer works. There is this disk file, no? Now whatever I have explained to you, the bootloader, the root partition, all of those will be contained in this. Okay. There is this folder called EFI, no? Inside this, you will have these .efi files. I have told you. This GRUB64.efi. This is the bootloader, actual bootloader executable. Okay. This is the GRUB bootloader I was talking about. This I will tell you where it is all put. Okay. And here is all these are all specific to the distributions. So I don't know how these work, but these are the files that will contain the root partition, especially this thing. It will only have all the all the you saw no in the root partition, you saw those files, no?
Yes.
The same files will be in this one. Okay. What will happen to make this, to boot into this disk image, you will have to use a tool, some tools like rootfs or Balena Etcher. Have you heard of those?
No.
You have to use those tools to extract this image onto a USB and make it bootable. making a USB bootable basically means you are creating a EFI system partition on the pen drive itself. Okay, you create a small partition. You make it. You put the flag on ESP, and this EFI folder is there. No, this will be copied to that like that partition, that EFI system partition. Okay, so it will become bootable. Some other settings also will be there. That also will be applied. See this this configuration file. Okay, it will have the configuration to like what do you say, to tell the bootloader in the pen drive that the like installed files are there in the pen drive itself. You boot from the pen drive. Okay, it will load the initRD. Where is the thing? It will load the initRD. It will load the kernel executable, and like I told you, know, each entry, each item in the list will have some command. This is that command. Okay. Okay. What it will do is basically, if you want to make the USB bootable, you will have to make a EFI system partition in the USB, and you have to set these configuration files for the bootloader. Now that we have made a USB bootable, actually this USB, if you see, no, it is bootable, but it has all these ISO files, and you won't see the boot partition. Okay. Why it is like that means because I want to like quickly switch between other operating systems, booting between other operating systems. For that, you know, you cannot keep flashing the same USB again and again. More write operations will happen, and USB will fail quickly. So there's this thing called Ventoy. You have noticed the partition name. This Ventoy, what it does, it is basically a single bootloader. Okay, it will take all these ISO images, and whatever you choose, whatever ISO image you choose, it mounts as a loop device. Loop device means exact definition I don't know. It will mount it as a loop device, and it will act as a USB. Okay, it will have all the files, but it will not be extracted onto the USB directly. It will be read directly from this ISO file. Okay, and yes, I think that should be it before we boot into the thing. Now we can actually reboot into the, like, you have to select this USB to be booted. Okay, so we will go to the UEFI and tell the pen drive to be booted. To go reach
so
the
which
UEFI
setting we are going, like we are restarting now. Okay, bias menu.
Yes, bias menu only. That's what I am calling UEFI. Now it's called UEFI, no?
Yeah.
Now I am going to select the boot device. You'll notice something.
SSD.
You'll notice something. This error appears. Basically, this error is saying that this boot device is not trusted. There is this thing called secure boot. Have you heard of secure boot?
No. Yeah, I heard.
Secure boot is like, it is like HTTPS. Okay. How for websites you have some certain certificate that the website will host. That certificate your laptop downloads when you visit that website, and it will check with the certificate authority. Basically, it's an organization that hosts all the keys for the certificate. It will check whether the certificate is valid. If it is valid, then the HTTPS connection is established. Okay. Similar to that, there is the that EFI files I showed you. Know those .EFI files will be signed by the key given by Microsoft. Okay. Microsoft is the one basically they hold verified keys in basically all the systems which have UEFI. Okay. If they have secure boot support, they will have Microsoft's keys. So basically, whatever is not signed with that, you cannot load. You cannot launch that executable. These executables are not signed with Microsoft's keys, so you cannot boot into them. For that, what we do, we temporarily disable secure boot. Okay. Temporarily disable secure boot. We will go into the BIOS settings to do that.
To start.
Which key is it? I don't know. We'll just press escape and go to there.
Yeah.
Come on, focus. I'll enter setup. I like ASUS this thing.
BIOS setting,
Yes.
It's actually looking very good.
This is how it will look in ASUS motherboard also.
Oh.
I like that's why it is better, because they have motherboards as well, so they can just use that firmware in this. Where is it? Security, secure boot. This where this option is present, it will be different for different laptops. So people who are watching this, if you want any help, you can ask Google. For now, we'll temporarily disable it. We'll save it and exit, and we'll boot back into the USB. You won't have that error.
Okay, let me do it.
You select.
Yeah.
I told you, Ventoy.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
showing all
Ventoy.
ISO
All
files.
ISO files. So I'll choose one, press enter, and it will load into the ISO directly.
Try or install Ubuntu.
Yes, that's what the screen you saw in that VM, no?
It's showing there. How long it's going to take?
Installation, it will take around, if we have to connect to the internet and download updates, so it will take around 30.
Internet connection. Where is our?
Zircon Zircon C. Yes, 102 5G.
There's
See
no,
the order.
I don't know.
Weirdly ordered.
There's no 5G.
Yes, it is
this
here.
one.
Click. Enter password.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome. We'll just leave it in American English and give next.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam. There is this thing called system local and what is a region.
Why there is no Chennai?
Like
Okay.
this is the time zone region. I don't know who set this, but whenever you go for time zone region, it will be Kolkata only, not even Delhi or something.
Mumbai
But in
also.
Windows, if you check now, it will say Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi. I think it will show all the city
Will it
names.
show inaccurate time?
Until you sync, yes, it will show inaccurate time. Okay, I am telling now this local thing. Some applications expect a UTF-8 local, so we'll just set this to English US UTF-8. Okay, so that we would not have any issues with any weird applications. Okay, this will leave it in India itself. We go next. This keyboard layout we don't need to change. You can just type here and see. Working. Next. Now this thing, no. We'll go with normal installation for now, because like if you go full installation, you told you will not be using it full time, no. So you have
That's
to.
your third party package listed below.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need all this. So fine. Okay. We'll pick. No, for now we'll uncheck this, because I want to show you the
How to update.
package management commands. Yes, how to update. We go next. This is the important part. Now, if we come here directly without doing the partitioning, what will happen? You will have some issues.
This is the unallocated, right?
These things, these will do automatically. Okay, these automatic things we don't want, because we don't know what it will do. We are not fully certain what it will do. So we'll go with manual partitioning, and we'll use our unallocated space to do our thing.
Okay, so this is the risky part.
Yes, this is the risky part. please be careful with your partitions. Okay.
Do not try this at home.
No, try this at home. I encourage it, but don't delete all your files.
No, I was joking.
Yes. Okay. Now I told you what are the partitions we need. I told you 3 partitions. You remember them?
No.
One is the EFI system partition, another one is the root partition, and optionally the home partition.
I still didn't remember.
It's fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
You don't need to remember it to use Linux.
You are feeling sleepy now. That's why.
Yes. I am also feeling sleepy. You'll just
Midnight
get this
training
over with.
also.
You'll just get this over with and sleep. Okay. For GRUB expects the EFI system partition to be at least around 200 MB. Okay. For safety, we'll just keep it to 500, not 5000. 5000 is waste. The file format has to be FAT32. Okay. Then only the BIOS can read the EFI system partition, and it should be mounted at /boot/EFI. Some other bootloaders may mount it at /boot, but for GRUB we mount it at /boot/EFI for UEFI based systems. This you can leave blank, or I like to put GRUB here. And I told you 2 flags. Okay, ESP is boot. Okay, and if you assign this, it will become a EFI system partition. Okay, and BIOS GRUB. This is not necessarily needed, but we will just keep it for compatibility purposes, and we will press OK. We have our bootloader partition. Now to demonstrate, I will create separate root and home partitions. Okay, I'll show you how to mount them as well. Like, if you can do it after you have created the system as well. You can create a separate home partition and mount it, but you have to move all the files from the root partition to the home partition. Like in root, there will be a folder called home. That home folder should be copied to the new partition. Now, if we do means we don't need to do that. So please.
What is file system?
Yes, I told you file system is what tells the operating system inside a partition how the files are stored and what are the properties of the files. Like attributes they are called. Okay, the modify date, access date, permissions, all those stuff. Okay. Okay. Now for Linux, there are many options for many options for Linux file system, but we'll generally go with ext4. Okay, that is commonly used. There is this thing called BTRFS. That's my personal preference. To not lengthen the video, I will not talk about it here. This will be a root partition. We can make it like I said, 70 GB will make it, 30 GB will give to the home. I'm not giving exactly 70 GB and 30 GB. I'm giving 70,000 MB and 30,000 MB. Yes. Okay, we'll just leave this label as such. This new space, this unallocated space, we'll create another partition called home. Linux home we'll call it. Now we have to mount it in /home. That's where our home directory will be. Instead of the home directory.
Inner space.
Yes, it's fine. Like this is where the home folder will be. Instead of the folder, we are mounting that partition. Okay. Everything in Unix is a folder or a file. Now we have all our partitions created and mounted in their required locations. Now we will continue to the next. Okay. Before you install, in this summary tab, there will be another it will show you the confirmation of which partitions are going to be modified in what way. So we have to check that before you apply all these changes. Okay. There is this button called new partition table. Okay. Never click that button.
Right.
I told no. If you do something wrong, it will wipe your whole partition table. That's what this does.
Okay.
It deletes all partition and creates a new partition table. All your data will be gone. Never click this button. Okay. Go next.
We'll understand if it's taking time to do something.
Something is happening. My files are being fucked. Okay. Now you enter your details.
Okay.
Your username can be anything. You can choose your username. Your name can also be anything. There is nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
It's your
I'll
choice.
change my username. Run hey.
Your
Already put it.
your username and the like this name and this name doesn't have to be the same. It cannot be same as well. In Linux usernames, they have certain limitations, like how Python variables cannot have symbols in them.
It's fine, right?
That's fine. This is your computer name, like how in Windows
Yeah,
if
it's
you
my
open
computer
the laptop,
name
some random string of characters.
Pseudo
This will be your host name in the Linux.
No.
Okay.
Ask password.
You just keep this as a short name, no, or else if you are opening your terminal, you will always see that name. You will see this name, Gaurav K at your host name. This name will come like Gaurav K at ASS Stuff Gaming. Keep it a short and sweet.
Computer name, what should I put?
Lane.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a perfect name. Okay.
Okay. Now
Nothing
we
next.
can go to the next. Now this is your summary screen.
Summary, yeah.
You have to check. Okay. It will say what partitions it's going
Everything
to.
Everything is okay.
Create a new 500 MB partition in the SSD. Okay. It is setting the
NVMe
boot
is
flags.
SSD only, right?
Yes. NVMe is like it is the SSD is a NVMe SSD. If you are connected on SATA or something, it will show /dev/SDA.
Yeah. SATA is basically slow only, right?
Yes, SATA is slower than NVMe. SATA hard drives are even slower than SATA SSDs. So there is the interface limitation as well, and whatever storage medium you are using, that will also have some speed limitations. Okay. Now we have seen boot partition is being created, root partition is created, home partition is created. If you see somewhere format, no, you have to be careful which partition it is formatting. You have to check. If
Not formatting, right?
No, we are not formatting anything here.
Thank God.
You just check here. Okay, here it will show these.
This yellow part is my.
Yes, that is your Windows. Okay,
yeah, Windows
if it is showing format in NVMe 0 N1P3 with ext4 or something like that, that means your data is scheduled to be erased. You have to go back to this partitions tab and make changes to the settings. Okay, please check this before you are installing so that you don't have any data loss.
But I think it's everything's looking fine on.
Yes,
Not
it
any
looks
formatter command, right?
Yes, we are just creating new partitions on the unallocated space now. So it is showing only create and setup. Okay. Now we can finally go to the installation process. It will again ask you to check this order. We have already checked it, so we will install it.
Yeah, just install it.
If your installation is stuck now, you can check this. Like there is this icon here that will show the terminal output. Whatever it's doing, it's basically just a script. Okay, that script will do basically it will copy the files. It will do some additional configuration. That's what it will do. If you go here, you can check at which point it is doing what it is doing. You can check. You may not be able to understand it, but at least you can get at which point it is stuck. If it is stuck, you can check
ask
Google. Ask ChatGPT by putting the whatever is shown in the step. You can say, my Ubuntu installer is stuck in this step. What to do? If you ask, it will say.
All done.
All done. Oh, it's done already.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can restart.
Huh?
Yeah, it
No
has to
mouse,
close all
okay.
the thing. Okay. Now we'll remove this USB and press enter. Now this secure boot, no?
Yeah. How to switch OS?
That we'll see. Before that, we'll go to the secure boot. Okay. The thing is, if you are installing Ubuntu is made by it's maintained by a big organization. No, they have tie-up with Microsoft to include their bootloaders with Microsoft signed keys. Okay, So you'll not have any problem if you switch on the secure boot now. So we'll just switch it on now. But if you are installing any other distribution, like let's say you are installing Arch Linux, okay, what will happen? Arch Linux is fully community based, like there is no tie-up with the Microsoft and all. So also it doesn't come with any bootloader by default. And Arch Linux, you have to manually install your bootloader and
key management.
Key management, like if you are installing Arch Linux, you would have to do this key management thing by yourself. Like you have to install, you have to sign the bootloader with the Microsoft's key, and you have to do that every time you update the system, update the bootloader, that is. Okay, so that will be a bit harder to manage, but still it will also support secure boot. Why the secure boot is important is because some applications, we'll take example, your Valorant, for their anti-cheat order, no, not escape. You have to press
check
F10.
the saving. Okay, F10 is for saving.
What it will do basically, it will complain about secure boot not being enabled. That's the only reason we need secure boot. Nothing else needs secure boot.
Valorant Vanguard takes kernel access also. Right?
Yes, it's a kernel level anti-cheat. It will integrate itself into the kernel space and it will check for any malicious process or any modifications done externally to the operating system itself. So yeah, that curbs some cheaters.
Let's see.
See, with secure boot it's working. Usually when you are installing Arch or something, if you don't do the signing process, it won't work.
Memory test.
Now here you can select Windows Boot Manager. You can switch between Windows and Ubuntu. Yeah.
I have to press this one only, right?
Yes. Now we are booting into Ubuntu to check whether we have installed it properly. Okay. Nice. Enter your password and login.
Other things. Okay. You can change this GUI also.
Yes, this also I can change. The lock screen also I can change. The loading screen also I can change. You saw the Kubuntu like loading screen, no? It was flashing Kubuntu. That also I can change. It may be missing some drivers. Okay. It doesn't come
we
with
need
NVIDIA
updates
drivers.
also, right?
We need updates also. We need to install drivers as well. So for now, to keep the video short, we will just quickly look over how to install driver on how to install NVIDIA driver on Ubuntu. Okay.
Oh, NVIDIA drivers also not.
Okay. First we have to open the terminal first of all.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just increase the size of this so that we can show the users better.
Full screen, huh?
Whoever is watching the video. Okay. Now, I told you, the package manager for Ubuntu is apt. apt. No, it should not be typed in caps.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we have
This
that
is
package.
apt. Okay. Now using this apt, there are some commands. Okay, these commands, most used commands it will show. If you put,
We have to install only.
If you are not satisfied with this, you can type man apt. Man means manual. Whatever command you type after man, it will show the manual page of that command. Okay, here you can scroll through and check all the very elaborate descriptions of the thing. Okay, now very importantly, we use 4 commands. Okay, update, that is to fetch the repository information. Okay, what will say, it will get just the list. Okay, that's the package list from the source. Like this package name is there, it has this version, that alone it will get, and it will be it's basically like checking for updates. Okay, this is the actual upgrade process, update process. It will download the package itself and it will install. This is just for checking the updates. This is for upgrading the packages. Okay, after that we have install. Okay, these 4 commands, we'll just talk about install now. If you type install and then whatever package name, the package name has to be exact. Okay, to get the exact package name only, we'll use the 4th command, the search command. You search for something. We search now in winget. We search now. We search for
Yes,
Brave, and it gave a package ID. That package ID we have to use while we are installing. Like that. So here you have to use the exact package name to install. We'll quit out of this and we'll run apt update. Error. What error? Permission denied error. What we have to use?
What?
If permission is not there,
Run as
you have
admin.
to run as administrator. What is the command for that? Sudo.
Okay.
Sudo apt update.
No, I was thinking like window way. Just close it and
yes. You yourself told
is
sudo.
there any command?
Yes, if you run this now, it will ask for your password.
Yeah.
You notice if you type, nothing is appearing on screen, but it's actually typing inside.
Okay.
It will not. It will just
I
not
don't know
show.
if I typed it correct or not.
If you don't know if you typed it correctly, you can just press backspace until you are satisfied and then type.
No, it's working.
Okay. Now it has told that this many packages can be upgraded.
This many.
Yes, because we are. This
Do we have
installer is a bit.
to do all?
Yes, we have to. Like this installer is a bit old, so we have to update everything. So for that, what is the command?
Okay.
What is the command we saw?
Sudo apt update.
Update is for getting the updates. Whatever.
Okay.
What is to download the updates? What is the command?
What could be the command?
Saw in the manual page, no? Upgrade. It's okay, you'll remember this in a while, in some time, when you repeatedly use the commands.
Also this date also. Time.
Time, no. Why is it not showing the proper time is because our NIDT network, it is blocking the network time protocol. This network time protocol is basically like what you say. It's specifically designed for getting the time. Okay, it will do the time sync compression only through network time protocol. It will get the time from a time server. In Windows, it's time.windows.com. Here you can configure it to any server you want. It will get the time from there and it will set the time here in your laptop. But if network time protocol is blocked, it cannot get the time, so it is not setting the correct time. Actually, this should fail all these installs, okay? Because like if you are using HTTPS, it is very time sensitive. So like if you see, have you seen that screen where sometimes Chrome says your system time is out of sync?
No, I never seen.
I have never seen. Okay, so basically if your time is out of sync, it is not able to verify the certificate. Okay, the certificate's validity. The HTTPS certificate is no SSL certificate. It will have a certain validity period. If your system date is outside of that period, it will say that the certificate is invalid.
Wait, this clock tick also related to NMOS battery, right?
This
some
clock.
battery.
This CMOS battery is
CMOS, yeah, not NMOS.
This CMOS battery is to store the, like, it will power the CMOS to keep the information stored. It will keep the clock ticking. When you remove the CMOS battery, all the data will be cleared and the clock will be stopped. So when you if you put the CMOS battery again, no, it will show CMOS reset, set the time, like that it will show.
Why we are getting very slow speed?
It's not low speed, it's actually a big file, 500 MB file, Linux firmware.
No, see
It
there.
will contain all the drivers. 6 Mbps, it's fine. Like many people will be downloading all around the world. It is giving 6 Mbps to us, means it is fine.
Okay, so it's traffic.
Maybe that, maybe our side traffic also may be there. Many people here are also using our network now. Breeze is the default theme of KDE. You can have many other themes as well. We'll explore the settings in maybe in another video, or maybe not in a video. We'll see. update is completed. Now we can restart the system before
we have to restart.
You don't have to restart. Okay. If you want the newer things to be activated, you will restart. That's all. You can also directly press the power button to get this menu. I'll show you next restart.
Oh, power buttons options.
Yes, power button is like you are pressing the power button.
It will have lead options also. Lead option. Lid closed, open. This is just like.
Yes. There is option for that also in KDE setting.
Is there any performance difference with the AAA games?
There will be slight reduction in performance, but now there are many things they have done to almost match the performance with Windows. What I'm talking about is Wine. Wine is also a recursive.
Okay.
Wine is not an emulator. Wine just translates the API calls. It doesn't translate the system level instructions. It translates the Windows API calls to Linux calls. Okay. Now we have seen how to install update. Now Ubuntu has its own way to check if drivers are present and what drivers to install. It's called ubuntu-driver.
We are going for NVIDIA drivers, right?
If you put ubuntu-drivers devices, it will show what drivers you can install.
Yeah, NVIDIA is there.
We have RTX 2050. You whatever is shows recommended, that package name you copy.
Do we have to install it separately? It's a single driver only we have to install.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So the apt install package name. This is directly the package name only, so we can use the install command. If you use some integer password, if the package name package name is not correct, I am just demonstrating. Okay. If the package name is not correct, or you have a typo in it, what will happen? It will say unable to locate package. So you have to search first. If you are not sure, then you have to get the exact package name and you have to paste it here. Now if you press enter here, it will install.
No, it will ask for password.
The Pseudo has a timeout. Okay. After this time only it will ask password again. Now if you see here, the Y is caps. It means that if you press enter, Y is capital and N is small. If you just press enter, the capital letter will be taken as the default value.
Priority.
Yes.
Privilege.
We just press enter, it will take us Y and it will start installing.
So directly went for Linux after taking buying the laptop.
No, actually, I used Windows for a bit. My plan was to install Linux directly, not directly. I mean, to install Linux alongside Windows. I still wanted Windows because some applications are not available on Linux, like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, the whole Office suite. Then there is Photoshop or the Adobe software that is also not available on Linux. So having them in dual boot is a bit convenient to switch. I've been using Linux before I bought the laptop itself. In my old PC also I used Linux. What's this? Which package manager is this? Machine
secure boot and
okay, this key now needs to be enrolled. Shows the password now and then confirm the change happened.
Is it because of secure boot was enabled?
Yes, secure but we enabled. No, it is doing something. Third party drivers, it is okay, fine. I'll take care of this. Please follow. If you are also getting this message, follow what I'm doing. Let's go to tab. Okay. Just type a random password.
Is
Or type
asking
your
password or my password?
No, it's not your password.
Asking
it's
for
just
a new
asking
password,
for a new
right?
password. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now it asked something like when you're restarting, you have to enroll the MOK. Restart. I wanted to show you the power button. Fine.
So how Linux is making profit? It's open source.
Like there is no company that is running to make a profit. You see here, you have to enroll the MOK. Use the arrow keys and enter key to navigate. Okay. You see, here opens, down, enter, continue, install the keys, go down and press yes. This is the password you have entered in the script. Same password you have to enter here.
Wait, how?
No, just type.
Okay. Yes.
Now it has enrolled. If you enter the wrong password, I think it will show error. Now you can reboot.
You should have shown that, right? You should have shown that. Wrong password.
Fine.
It's fine.
Now we have to sleep now. Yes, now we can reboot normally. Enter, press enter. If you boot back into Windows, what will happen? The time will be different. Now let's say the time
we'll do now.
We'll fix the time here first, then we'll go back to Linux. For now, we'll you turn on your hotspot.
Mobile hotspot.
Yes, mobile hotspot.
Oh, so
mobile data.
Hostel Wi-Fi is not allowing.
Or you can install Cloudflare War on Linux. Now, if we let it for a while, the time should update. It is not updating by itself. We can open the terminal and we can force it to update. I forgot the command. Let me try to guess it. It's not a command. See, now the time has updated.
Mobile.
1-4. Yeah, 1-4. Show the laptop. It is also 1-4. Okay.
So it's not sync.
Now it is sync. This is the command. Now we have synced the time. Now if we boot back to Windows, we'll see what happens. Right. See, the time is wrong.
Time is 7:31.
And this appeared because we switched.
Something happened to your
yes,
pin.
This is happening because we switched out of secure boot and switching back in again. So like the pin will get reset because security reasons. For now you can sign in. For now you can sign in with password.
Oh, we have to.
Okay. Now
everything is all right. Thank God.
Now the thing is, for the time to be proper, right? Linux actually what it does is it sets UTC time. You know UTC time, no? It is the time at Greenwich Meridian.
I heard
that
GMT.
Time, yes, GMT time it will set in the system. Okay, and whatever time zone you select, that difference it will calculate in the system. Okay. It will not save the local time in the system, but Windows will assume that the time in the system is the local time. That should not happen. So for that there is a registry key that you have to activate. You know the Windows registry?
Yes.
It's like a configuration. It will store your configuration in a key value data type, data structure. Okay.
We are checking real time.
is universal.
It's not looking right, but
See this thing. This
we have
part.
to add in a reged.
Yes, regedit you have to open, and you have to go to this path.
Okay.
Mongo cat.
Last time we changed the values we faced the GA problem in a Mongo cat.
After going here, you have to right click, new, D word 32-bit. You have to name it RealTimeIsUniversal. Open it, set its value to 1, press OK, and reboot.
Now, if in the future, if I am going to install, if I am going to install any AAA game now, so obviously we require like around 120 to 150 GB. So how to get that storage back? Or like imagine if I don't want Linux anymore, I just want
with the current setup, like I have created a separate boot partition now. So what you can do, you can just delete all those 3 partitions and you'll get all the 3 things back, like all the 100 GB back. Okay. Like
so
usually
it will get merged or it will be still separated?
What will be separated?
Partition, right?
Partition will be separated only. If you like after deleting, you'll get unallocated space. That unallocated space you can extend it to the existing Windows partition. Okay.
That's fine.
Now the time is proper.
Yeah, now time is proper.
Okay. Like usually people install, like when they install the GRUB bootloader will be there. No, that bootloader will be installed in the Windows boot manager's EFI system partition itself. Okay. When that happens, sometimes there is a chance that while updating Windows may override the default bootloader in that partition to be your like Windows boot manager, and like basically it will erase GRUB from that partition. What will happen? You won't be able to boot into Linux if that happens. That's another reason why I created a new EFI system partition in your disk. Okay. That had to be mentioned when I was creating the partition. I forgot it then, so I am including it now. Fine, okay, now we have finished all the installation.
Everything is done, right?
Now we can happily, peacefully go to sleep and maybe use the installation tomorrow. Learn how to install packages, customize the thing.
And what? How will you end? Subscribe to Pseudo course.
No.
We need
too cliche. We don't need that. If they want to subscribe, they'll subscribe.
Say, I need that.
Yes, I need that though. So please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I don't think you have watched the full video. If you did, hats off to you. Thank you for all the watch time you have given me. The thing gave up.
Okay, the tripod actually gave up.
Yeah, we'll stop it here.
Sign out. Ilam Paridhi.
Bye bye.